Hello, it's Marcy Taylor. Welcome to another midnight session. Good morning, LA. Well, actually, now that we're recording it, but good evening in Manila. But you will probably see it morning in Manila. I know it's all messed up, but that's what happens when you're doing a show in two different time zones. Today I am super excited because I get to chat and you get to listen in on a conversation with one of the Philippines' biggest rock stars, seriously, and actually one of the nicest guys in the industry. I tried to dig up some dirt about him. Nothing. Nothing. Why? Let me show you a few pictures. You might know him from this time. This is the iconic, legendary band, The Dawn. And here he is. I'm not going to say who he is yet. And then years later, decades later, there he is, an actual rock star playing a rock star in theater. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest for tonight's midnight session is my friend Jett Pangan of The Dawn. Hey, Jett.
Hello, Marcy. Hello to
Hi.
your viewers.
Hi, how are you? It's
I'm good.
midnight now, right?
It's around midnight here, so good afternoon to you guys
Yeah.
and to our Filipino listeners. Magandang hating gabi po.
The witching hour, hala. So
Yeah.
anyway, how are you doing? Last I've heard the last thing I saw about you was that '90s frontman concert.
Okay.
You guys bringing it back. Um, of course, I've known you from the Dawn, and then briefly you had like the Jet Pangan group, your band for a bit
Right.
there. What have you done since? I'm sure some viewers do know, but let's catch up.
Okay. Well, right before the quarantine, the Dawn had a gig out of town, and then we had a gig for the PBA launch. And then immediately after that, there was quarantine already. So that's what I remember doing last, really. You know, but
So,
previous
and
to
then
that, yeah, stuff.
theater, you've been doing, is
Yeah.
that
Well, theater. The last thing I did was Sweeney Todd with Miss Lea Salonga. That was October last year,
wow?
and I
Really, really
released. And then in between all that, I released a solo single or two. The
non-stop,
most
huh?
recent one is Belong. So yeah.
Yeah, which you can play. I wanted to play some of your music, but I have learned the hard way that it gets flagged, copyright stuff. You know what I mean? Like when
Yeah.
I play an actual video, so it's really hard with Facebook platform and all this stuff. Speaking of Facebook and YouTube and shows like that, you have your own talk show, sort of. How did that come about? So, guys,
Yes.
that's a talk show now on YouTube.
Well, in YouTube, I'm pretty much new in the game. I just started as we record this. I just started about a week ago.
Hmm.
Started releasing stuff on my YouTube channel, and it's music and talk, really. So there are videos there where I perform. The most recent one was with Perf De Castro. Hi, Perf.
Hi, Perf, you're
For
next.
yeah, for a tribute offering for Teddy Diaz, the founder of the Dawn, and then I also have my Jets talk show sort of there, where I interview artists and basically people that I find interesting enough to share with viewers. So yeah, but previous to that, I had my podcast, and I still
Nice.
have it now. 23 episodes in. The last guest was Miss Lea Salonga, and my very first guest was also Nyoy Volante, who's is also in my YouTube
Oh, okay, yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
Yeah, so I've been very fortunate that I may have gotten in this game a little too late, but it's doing okay. So thanks to all those who subscribe and view, and thanks to you for
Yeah,
helping promote it.
well, better late than never. And you know what? This time we can all get creative, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the stuff coming out of Manila. given that we're all locked down. I was gonna say we, but you guys, because things are really weird here in California, and it's locked down, but not really. Um, so let's go flashback a bit. Of course, we just had Teddy Diaz's anniversary, so lots of Dawn memories coming
Yeah,
up. I know that you auditioned to get in the band. So how did you know the guys? Were you like in the same school, or how did that come
I didn't
about?
know them. I didn't know them, but I knew the brother of the bassist at the time. He
Okay.
was my barkada in college.
Where'd you go to college?
Lasal, Taft.
Okay, so you're all
So,
from LaSalle, right? More or less.
I'm sorry.
The some of the other guys are from LaSalle also, right?
Yeah, the funny thing was when we became the Dawn as a four-man team, the founder Teddy Diaz, he was the only Atenean, and we were all
Yeah.
Lasalites. Yeah, so we were our band leader was an Atenean. So
Nice.
yeah, he basically put together a bunch of Lasalites, to run this course. Yeah.
Fun. Hey, did you ever end up, because it became, you were still in school when the dawn hit as much as
Yes,
hits
I,
were.
I
So
was in
did you
third year college.
end up finishing your degree?
Yeah, I was able to finish my degree in mechanical engineering.
Wow.
I took the board exam, I passed, and all that. Yeah, but the Dawn was already on its way to making a career out of itself. So I never really got to practice my profession because you know uh, you realize it's more fun to sing.
Okay, so were you always a singer? Did you know you could sing? Your voice is like incredible. So that's
I
a surprise.
think
Was it your first band?
I at the start, I could carry a tune.
Yeah.
I come from a musical family,
Okay.
and my mom loved to sing, my dad loved to sing, and my uncle was a record executive who co-owned or co-managed a record bar back in the 80s. So I was really exposed to a lot of music.
Okay.
But my first professional job really was singing for the Dawn.
Nice.
And even then, when I entered the audition, I just pretended I knew what I was gonna do, man.
I think that's something you have. It's like a natural confidence.
Yeah,
Where's
it's called KM.
that?
KM. Kapal
What-
ng mukha.
are you the eldest child, Jet?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. That's kind of explaining it. where
Uh-huh.
where did the confidence come from? Because I can see it now too. That's why you're a natural host when you host things, and of course when you're up on stage. Not so.
Marcy, the funny thing is, I'm actually a shy guy.
I believe that.
Believe it or not,
I
yes.
believe it. I believe it.
I'm pretty much introverted. Little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not the forthcoming kind of person. I'm not the life of the party by any means. I'm not that guy. I'm
Hmm.
the guy who'll stay in a corner away from everything. But I don't know, maybe I like a good challenge. Um, okay, a lot of my friends in college, they were all jocks, right? They were all athletes. Girls would turn their heads when they
Yeah.
pass, and I'm not any of those. I'm not athletic. I don't have a particular sport that I can be proud of. So maybe I would challenge myself in other ways, in things I knew I can do, like singing. I mean, I wasn't the best, I wasn't the greatest, but I knew I could carry a tune, and I loved bands. I loved
Mm.
rock music. So yeah, why not give it a shot?
So you came about during like new wave time.
Yeah.
What were your favorite bands? What bands were you listening to?
Okay. When I was in college, before I joined the Dawn, I was pretty much listening to whatever was on the radio. So not a lot of them, surprisingly, were new wave or punk rock.
So
Uh,
like XP. You were listening to
Stuff like
XP.
Duran Duran,
Mm-hmm.
Steely Dan, stuff like that. But when I joined the Dawn, that's when I got really immersed into stuff like The Cure,
Mm.
U2, um, Sex Pistols, The Clash,
Nice.
and even the prog stuff, Rush, stuff like
Mhm.
that. Pati heavy jazz, because our drummer, si June Boy, was really into a lot of the deeper stuff, like Weather Report, Chick Corea, and all that, and even Teddy was huge
Yeah.
on those things. Plus Led Zepp, Black
Hmm.
Sabbath, and so you put those things together, yeah. Um,
And that's how it happened. So,
and yeah, it expanded my musical horizon.
not my mind. I have to ask. During that time, right? British Invasion, those were the bands for New Wave. So what's with the if you listen closely to Enveloped Ideas and other early Dawn songs, parang meron kang accent, ah? It's like there's a slight what's up with that? And where did that come
You
from?
know what? It's maybe because that's a good question because I listened to a lot of British new wave at that time. Uh, Shortly after I joined the band, I was really into it,
Yeah.
and but then again, I didn't want to put it on too much because I'm not British, right? But like for instance, like Envelope Ideas, uh, the way it was written, the way the melody goes, and the way the tempo and everything happens, parang it's just natural. It just flows out of you without
Nice.
having to pretend that you're someone else. You just sing it. It just puts you in that zone. Yeah.
Nice. What was the writing process? When did you start like contributing to the music and the writing of lyrics and stuff like that? What is the first song you wrote?
That's a good question. When I entered the band in '86, I was neither songwriter nor composer
Hmm.
nor lyricist. No,
Yeah.
I did not have those skills. But God bless Teddy Diaz, who was already very prolific at the time because he was in the College of Music of Philippine Women's University. He was really studying music,
Mhm.
and instead of him saying to the band, ako lang gagawa ng music dito, ako lang," you know,
Mhm.
he was encouraging everybody, including me. Sabi niya, Jet, gagawa na tayo ng album. Why don't you write a song? Since you're part of the band, why don't you write something? And that's when I began that side of me. There was one song on the first album. It's called "Give Me the Night,"
Mhm.
and I wrote the lyrics and came up with a vocal melody for that.
Galing
And the other
naman.
guys came up with the music. Yeah.
Dude, that's what I'm so in awe of it. So I guess with your mechanical engineering, you would say you were a science type of guy, and then suddenly you're like so creative. Galing how that was tapped into you, and then now from music to stage, parang you have so much to give still, and you just have to pull it out of you. I don't know. How are you able to? Do you impart this to your kids? Your kids are grown now. Like, what lessons have you told them about being like that, being creative, and being confident?
Um, being in a rock band for a long time. I don't know if this is going to answer your question, but I'm going to try my best. Right.
Sure.
Being a rock band for a long time teaches you many, many things. It teaches you what you have and what you don't. In my case, I knew that through the years of being with the Dawn, okay, I can write songs pala. Oh, I can sing it this way pala. And then you realize, all right, now that I've done that, what else can I do? You know, and so I was fortunate enough that there was musical theater that sort of knocked on my door. Uh, and in the same way that I jumped into being a singer of a band,
You just jumped in.
I dove right into it, not knowing what to expect. But I kind of had an idea. It's going to be different from singing in the band.
And what did you fall? I know what you're referencing. It was wasn't Jesus Christ Superstar. your first. Um,
Yes, that's where I met your sister.
right. In fact, my sister reminded me that I did watch that, and it was one of the last things I watched before leaving Manila. That was in 2000.
That
So
was my first, Marcy. That was my
wow.
first
Yeah.
musical theater gig.
Nice. I know. So, how did you like? Wait, of course, it's easier maybe the transition to Jesus Christ Superstar because you're singing a rock song, right?
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
where
Yes.
did
It's right up
you?
our alley. Yeah.
Yeah, where did you get the balls to go on and do something with like Atlantis repertoire, legit theater people? Were you intimidated at all?
Oh, of course I was.
Yeah.
Yes. After Jesus Christ Superstar, I wanted to do more. I
Okay,
loved it so
you
much.
got bit by the bug. Yeah, you
Yeah. 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 The cliche is true. It's either you like it or you don't.
uh-huh.
There's no in between. Because especially in the Philippines, theater never really paid that much.
Hmm.
So if you didn't love it, there's no point in doing it. It's not going to make you millions. So it's either you want to do it or you don't really. And I did want to do it, but I also understand theater to be something that's not just going to cater to a certain kind of genre or market. I mean, it's not going to put out rock musicals forever. In
Right.
fact, rock musicals are few and far between.
Yeah.
If I want to do musical theater, I got to jump into it, from my head to my toes. I have to commit to it. So whatever projects get thrown at me, that's musical theater. It's a blessing that you get called to do it. So yeah, do it. If it's gonna be Jekyll and Hyde, if it's gonna be Sweeney Todd or Dream Girls, that's an opportunity they're giving you. So yeah,
Did
dive
you
right
ever?
in.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And the rewards are different, and the discipline in theater is different as well.
Yeah.
How did you maybe tell us one of the differences, and how did you adjust to that, like from rock music, concert gigging, and then musical theater?
Right. That's what I mentioned earlier about singing in a band for a long time, that I know what I have and I know what I don't.
Okay.
That's one of the things that I felt I had to learn more as a, what do you call that, performer, an artist. I
Mm-hmm.
needed more discipline. I needed more stamina. I
Mm.
needed more confidence. I needed more control, in my singing, and I needed to be a better actor also.
Yeah.
Because I've done movies in between singing and doing whatever else. Pero iba yung training ng theater eh. And that's one thing I knew for sure, that if I'm gonna jump into it, those are the things I'll be forced to learn. Because especially in Atlantis Productions, where I've done a lot of musicals, they're
Mhm.
very professional. They're very strict. Sa time in pa lang eh. Pag sinabing 9 o'clock, it's not 9:01. You'll be there by
59.
9.
Yeah.
And then you're of course expected to know what you need to do. And those are the things that I've learned. It's great because even if people say that, and it's true that it doesn't really pay well, not as well as what you'd expect from other gigs that we do.
Yeah.
It's actually like going to school and you get paid for it anyway.
So that's how much you love it,
Yeah,
grab it. I can see it
because
in your eyes.
yeah, you learn so much, like from down to the music rehearsals when there's the vocal coach helping you out, hit the notes or sing it
Mhm.
properly. That's education, man. People go to school for that, right? They
Yeah, yeah.
pay for that. I get it for free and I get paid.
And you get to work with people like Lea Salonga and the
Yeah.
whole. And was that something that was different maybe because you've been with your band like over 30 years, the same guys. Sorry, Kiko and people, but and then with theater, each play it's a different group of people. Was there an adjustment there?
Theater people, if we're just talking theater, right? There
Mhm.
you'll never find a nicer, more supportive bunch, generally speaking, right? I mean,
Yeah.
in any industry naman, there's gonna be someone there who you're not gonna have your lunch break with, right? But
Yeah.
for the most part, I can say that with my experience in musical theater since I don't know what. 1999 or 2000.
Mm-hmm.
I have worked with some, or actually a lot of
Mm-hmm.
generous artists. They have no egos. They have no "I'm the star here"
Yeah.
complex. Because theater is a team game. Really, it's you're only as good as you know the next guy that you're doing the scene with. So yeah, if you want a real sense of community, of working hard together, no matter what happens, I think theater is a great place to be. I mean, well, after this pandemic, maybe, but
Yeah.
I
Wow.
encourage people to do it.
Yeah,
Really.
and you're so lucky that you've had success in both fields. So the Dawn, it's still after disbanding one or two times, you guys are back and you are gigging somehow someday. What? How long do you think you guys can keep going? Don't stop, but
Uh,
what's the feeling now with the guys?
well, that's an interesting question to ask under this pandemic,
Yes.
because it's really challenging everybody. Especially if you're a band. How can you be a band now? It's so hard. Of course, we put out something for the fans and for the people who want to hear stuff from us live in quarantine. So we do those quarantine videos on our YouTube channel and all that. Pero syempre, iba pa rin yung, you're playing together on stage with people, but you can't do that now. You just can't,
It'll
because
come
there
back.
will always be that uninvited guest called COVID-19. You don't
It'll
want
come
that
back.
there. So
I hope it'll come back. I mean, you've seen the stuff from Sweden and the countries where they've kind of controlled the COVID. They're finding creative ways, like concerts in cars and all that stuff. So it'll come
you know
back.
what? There are a lot of let's say potential clients for gigs or events. They're
Hmm.
really racking their brains on how to do this properly. Observing strict protocols for both the
Yeah.
artists and the audience. In one of my podcasts, I interviewed Shakira,
Hmm.
Ilya Symes. I'm sure you
Yes.
know her.
Of course, lighting directive.
Uh, she's
Yes.
one of the spearheaders of the National Live Events Coalition. And from that time that I did my podcast with her, even before that, she's been very active in lobbying in Congress or our decision makers here in the Philippines to somehow help the ailing events industry to get back on its feet.
Right.
But it's really no one's fault, because the virus is really bad trip diba? It's the virus is the enemy. So they're racking their brains on how to come up with very strict protocols, not just for the artist, but for the audience and
Yeah.
for the guys doing the rigging, the sound system people, everybody.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's really tough. I mean, on a selfish note, I want to say I want to get back already. I want to get back on that damn stage with my bandmates, and I want to play, but
I know.
you
You have
just
to.
can't yet.
Let's be patient. Let's be
So to
patient.
answer your question, yeah, the Dawn is still an entity. Let's just see how we hold ourselves together by being creative,
I know. Actually,
despite this pandemic.
when
Yes.
you listen to your songs, sabi ko, wow, pwedeng pang pandemic inspirational, like isang bangka or whatever. Like I go, I was
Actually, yeah,
moving.
people find inspiration in some of our songs, which is great. I mean, it takes on a whole new meaning for a lot of people.
Yes, especially now.
Yeah.
Um, do you have any crazy rock star stories before we segue into my questions, my 10 questions?
Okay.
What's a crazy rock star story? See, I don't have any guys. I have hung out with these rock stars like Jet. I have no crazy story about Jet because, like you said, he said guy in the room that sits quietly, nasa loob ang kulo.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
but none.
Wala lang.
I have no stories about you. Oh, and then he was drunk on stage. Voila, nothing. So maybe you have something that we don't, that I never saw or was never publicized. What's some crazy? It's been 30 years. Rock star stories, maybe crazy fan experience you've had.
Well, I like to drink, really, especially with the Dawn. Our latest personnel now, the five of us, Kiko, Sancho, Junboy, Mon Legaspi, and myself, it's become like a magic combination for drinking. We love to drink. Minsan nga, magre-rehearse kami. It was supposed to be a rehearsal, but then we'd end up around the table, and then the drinks come, flowing, and then there goes rehearsal. Sound trip na lang kami. And we love a good drink or two even at gigs.
What's
But
your drink of choice?
syempre beer and scotch. That's my personal, yeah.
Yeah. How about you guys toured a lot? You've come to the States and stuff. What's that experience like?
I'm sorry.
You've toured in the US, right, with the band.
Oh, that was
Um,
long ago. Yeah,
what's
God, I
that
only
like?
ever had one tour in the States. That was in 2001.
Oh wow, 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 yeah.
But our most recent one was in Canada
Okay.
about 2 or 3 years ago. So we did two tours there.
What was that like?
Fun. Um, and then you realize also that the Filipino community there in North America, they really help each other out. You know, you don't really go there and expect that every that they're like awash with cash, that they can
Yeah.
just give you everything that your heart desires. Hindi naman kami ganun din. We know what to expect also when you're doing something of that magnitude. There's so much cost, to bring 5 or 6 guys around North America,
Yeah.
flying here to there and then flying from there to there, and housing them and feeding them. So doon ko nakikita yung community ng mga Filipinos na even if they're not part of the production, they will help. They will help the producer or the promoter get by
Hmm.
and make sure that the band is well taken care of. So yeah, it has its own set of challenges, but at the end of the day, you get to play for the Pinoys there. So yeah, job
I
done.
Yeah, I think your big jump, I honestly think, and maybe this is part of it because we have viewers that don't know any of the Filipino stuff I'm doing. So I feel like it's my mission to bring out Filipino musicians and artists into the world. I really think your music can play to a wider audience. And so that is one positive thing out of this pandemic. It's exposing Filipino talent to a wider audience because it's not live, like you said. We're missing that intimacy when you're performing live. But now with all these videos and podcasts and live streams,
Yeah.
it's a wider audience. I mean, we have Pinoy tuning into this from the message and say, I'm in Indonesia, I'm in Dubai, it's like all around the world. So this maybe that's a good thing.
This is the blessing that we have for humankind right now. Because despite the pandemic, we get to connect because of technology.
Hmm.
I can't imagine how life is going to be like if we didn't have this at all.
I mean, oh
You
my
know,
God, I haven't seen you in 20 years, but here we are, diba?
right? Thank goodness for this. We get to explore other things aside from what we're used to doing. So,
What's
but yeah,
next?
nothing beats the live experience. But
Yes,
this will really do for now, right?
it will
So,
do for now. Yeah. What's
yeah.
next? Are you gonna do a cooking show? What haven't you done, dude?
I can't cook. That's one thing I cannot do. I guested for a cooking show years ago,
Uh huh.
and I think the host was Janice de Belen. It was her
Oh,
cooking show. She ended up cooking the whole thing.
it will be an.
Kumain na lang ako. Yeah.
Ay, wow. Okay, I know you are super busy, so let's jump into. These are the 10 questions that I asked. They're just stream of consciousness. First thing that comes to mind. Your answers
Sure.
can be In English or Tagalog,
How do
whatever.
I answer? One word? Ano ba yan?
Oh, whatever, and you can
Is it a
expound if
charade
you
kind
want.
of thing, you know?
No, no, you can expand if you have a thought about it.
All
So
right.
here we go.
I will do my best.
10 questions for Jet. What is your favorite word? Your favorite word.
Engine.
Okay. What is your least favorite word?
Wow. Do I have to answer this quickly?
No,
Uh,
pwedeng Tagalog ah.
Pwedeng Tagalog, kulangot.
Yep. Okay. What turns you on creatively?
Uh, Corny as it may sound, but a sunny afternoon.
Really? Well,
Yeah,
it's been raining in Manila now, right?
exactly. Yes.
Okay. What turns you off?
Dami. So I have to choose one.
Name a
Uh,
couple.
Arrogance.
Mhm. Ano pa?
Pa ba? Self-righteousness and bills.
Okay. What is your favorite curse word?
You're gonna make me. Okay. Is this ano ba to? Rated PG ba to or
Oh,
ano?
midnight naman eh.
Huh? Pack
No?
shit.
Oh. Talaga? Talaga? That's your
Because
curse
it's not as hard as when you say it the way you should, but you know.
word?
There's
Okay.
still humor in it. Basta, di ba? Pack shit.
It doesn't even sound like a curse anymore.
Di
Okay.
ba?
What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, the noise of our manang frying liempo. Yes, that's...
Sarap naman.
May liempo ba dyan sa ano, Orange
Yeah,
Town?
to the Asian store to get
I'm
that.
sure there's a lot of Filipino stores there where you
Yeah,
can...
and Asians like the Korean store, ganyan, Japanese store, but the normal American grocery, they don't
Tutol
have that cut of meat. All you
Yes.
have is like pork chops, and then you have chicken breasts. You don't even see the whole chicken anymore, or I don't think people have seen heads of fishes. Kasi
Wala.
feeling mo yung fish. Oh, okay. What sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, madami rin. Well, lately there have been a lot of frogs around the house because it's raining. So
Hmm.
nagsi-symphony sila, you know.
You
So
don't like
yeah, I do when it's like one or two frogs, but when it's like a whole, you know,
Wow.
dystopian symphony there, it's not. Yeah,
Parang end of the world talaga. Rain, pandemic,
I
frogs. Ayan.
know. Yeah, so let's not. Yeah, let's not start with the locusts or something. So
Oh my gosh. Okay, what profession other than your own would you like to attempt? What
what
profession?
profession?
Hmm.
I'll be what do I want to do? Another profession. Yeah, I want to be. Maybe I want to still pursue my engineering. You know, I don't know, work in a factory line of a car manufacturer or something like that. The guy who puts on the doors or something, or the one that hammers down
Nice.
the engine block cover. You know,
Oh
stuff like
yeah,
that.
or make use of your degree,
I
right?
know.
So,
Ang hirap ng mga tanong mo.
what profession would you not like to do?
Not like to do. Wow. Well, there's a lot. What do I don't want to... Dapat pala, binrief mo muna ako dyan. Teka.
Hindi, kasi
Hirap
no,
ng mga tanong mo. Actually, madami. Pero siguro, if there's really one thing that I would rather not do, that is to be a dentist.
really? Why?
I appreciate girls with, you know, lovely smiles like yours and,
Thank
you
you.
know, but imagine looking into people's mouths day in, day out. You know, that's something that,
Talaga.
okay.
Cool.
I
How
actually
about
asked my dentist that. Sabi ko, paano mo nagagawa yan? You know, you're looking into random people's mouths. People you don't know.
yeah.
You know, they just come into your clinic and then they open up and say, ah, and then you get in there and, you know,
Paano daw?
and it becomes a science to them. You know, there's no emotion, there's no nothing. Sabi ko, iba paano kung kumain lang ng pinakbit yan tapos pumasok doon sa ano mo, clinic mo. I mean, she stopped talking to me after that. So
Hala, ayan. Kaya, new dentist. No.
yeah.
I'm curious, you've never had like a corporate job. So was that on purpose? Like you
No,
never
actually I did.
did? Okay.
Well, I don't know if you can call it corporate. Okay, since I studied mechanical engineering, I had to sort of make myself feel better and make my mom feel better by practicing it somehow.
Oh, okay.
So I became a service advisor for a car dealership in 91. I left after a year or two because I found it, too taxing to talk to customers
Mm.
who are screaming in your face. But it was a good experience. And then sometime 94, I think, or 95, I worked in a record company.
Wow.
Yeah, I worked for Viva Records, and that's where I first met Sancho, who's now my
You're
bandmate.
okay.
He was my A&R. And then I worked for a semiconductor company after that. Yeah,
Wow.
for a year or so, we used to test those. We call them burn-in. We used to burn in chips
Yeah.
made by manufacturers. We were the testing facility.
Oh wow. So you
But
did
yeah,
I
sorry.
didn't know that. That's something I didn't know. So what was it like? I don't like this 9 to 5 stuff. Is that something you
Yeah,
realized? Okay.
yeah. Anything behind the desk gets to me. After like 6 months of doing it,
Yeah.
the pull of the music, Nux,
And the
it
stage.
was always too strong. Yeah.
Well, you're good at it. Like you said, you know what you're good at. So capitalize on that, right? Okay, we're down to our last question. And then, of course, my special request for you to sing afterwards to play us out. Here's the last question.
Yeah.
What would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Okay. God might tell me, okay, you did some crazy shit, son, but I see the love in your heart, and I see how you tried, and you tried to go past your flaws, and you knew you weren't perfect. So, yeah. So here's a tambiolo where you can turn and see where you're going to end up.
May chance pa rin.
That's what
Dude, you're going straight up, man. I know you.
I hope so. I hope you all do. But meantime, we have a whole lot of living to do after this pandemic. So
Oh my gosh.
let's hope for the best, right? Yeah.
It's all for the best, and we're making the most of it. Hang in there, guys. Wear your masks.
Yeah. Yeah. Please wear your
And,
masks.
and you know what? I will request that you reach out and connect with people, even if it's through like this, through Zoom, through a phone call, an
Yeah.
email, whatever. Look,
Yeah.
don't be shy. Look, I haven't spoken to Jet in 20 years, but it's so good to see you out there in the world and doing your part in the Philippines and being an inspiration to a whole new generation of kids and musicians. That's inspiring, and I hope you don't stop.
Thanks,
Also,
Marcy. But the good thing there is I learn from the kids. Like my son, he loves playing the guitar. He's actually pretty kick-ass now.
wow.
And the stuff that he listens to, I get to listen to also. And I learn from the kids, right? So yeah, this Tito is learning from
I
the
like it. Did you notice our kids have like a wider musical interest? Like they're so exposed to different
yeah, and they
genres.
learn faster now thanks to the
Yeah,
internet. Everyone
very cool.
everyone who gets into music now, I'd like to think they learn their stuff a lot faster than we ever did back in the day.
Yeah, and they appreciate it. It's not like, oh, that's a hip hop song. I'm a rocker. I'm not gonna listen. Diba? They're so open. And
Yeah, Yeah.
I really like that. Sarap mo naman sa kwento, Jet. But
Well,
before
good to
we,
see you.
yes, it's good
Good
to
to
see
see you
you.
after all these years. Yeah.
Next time, you're going to share your secrets why I think Jet Pangan of the Dawn is a vampire. Look at this face. It's the same face. Look at that. Like the only difference from the 80s is eyeliner. Come on, Jet. Where's the eyeliner?
Yeah. You know those eyeliners we used to put in the 80s? It really irritated my eyes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
They're, they're better
Pinanindigan ko
now.
lang yun. But every time they would put on me, I would be tearing all over the place. Even during the gig, they thought I was goth, but actually, I was already getting allergic to the damn thing. But
Oh, it's so
those
funny. Well, now as an actor, you have to put on makeup. So that's what
exactly.
it
Eh,
prepares you
nasanay na
for.
rin, nasanay na rin. Yeah, Sometimes they
Great.
even put prosthetics there, and yeah, all
Galing,
fun, all
galing.
good.
Parang everything prepared you for where you are now, except the pandemic. No one was
That's a
prepared for
nice.
that.
Yeah. I hope this pandemic is preparing us to something better.
For sure, for sure.
Let's hope so, right? Yeah.
Yeah, can you play us out something cool? I don't know,
Yeah.
bits
Well,
of your
before
new
I do that, I want to thank you, Marcy. Thank you for giving me this talk time. I
platform.
really enjoy talking to you and to your viewers. I hope
Mhm.
that may napulot kayong aral sa akin. Pero
Yeah,
malamang
and
wala.
follow Jet, watch his show, listen to his
Yeah,
podcast.
follow me on Instagram if you want, Jet Pangan, and then I have a talk show on YouTube. I have my own channel, the Jet Pangan channel, where there you'll find Jet's talk show, sort of, where I interview artists and people you might find interesting, and there's also some performance videos there. So yeah,
And then the
I
podcast.
try to put more fun stuff. And the podcast of Jet's talk show, sort of. You can listen to them via Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or Stitcher. Thank you very much, Marcy.
Thank
So
you.
I
Friend,
didn't really prepare anything,
yes, this is impromptu. I'm
but
going to
let's see if
introduce
I
you.
can. Yeah,
I'm going
one
to
or two
introduce.
lines should do, right? So
Here we go. Hang on. Let me
I haven't
intro.
really picked up this guitar in 2 months, so it's really
Okay. Here we go, guys. Jet
right.
Pangan. Thank you.
Here we go.
Welcome. And thanks for watching Midnight Sessions. Here's Jet.
Yeah. Sana ay makilala kang muli tulad ng dati. Halika at lumapit kang muli tulad ng dati. Sana ay makilala kang muli tulad ng dati. Halika at lumapit kang muli.
Thanks, Jet. Thank you so
Sorry
much.
about that. Best I could do.
That was really great. Thank you very much. And have a good evening, everybody
You
in
too.
Manila. See
Have
ya.
a nice afternoon, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.